thanks for stopping by my channel. My name is Fatima. Let's go ahead and get into the video. So in this video, I want to talk to you about how to develop intentional friendships. This is something that I have been very intentional about, especially this past year, and I wanted to share my tips, especially the tips for my fellow introverts. I know that may be surprising, or maybe some of you don't even believe me when I say I'm an introvert, but trust me, when I say that I am, I am. I like my alone time. I recharge by being alone. I think this year has shown me that I'm kind of evolving and expanding, and these labels that we give ourselves are constantly changing. Also, it's about to be a thunderstorm, so we're just gonna roll with it. The first tip that I want to share is to join different groups or clubs. So something that I did when I decided that I wanted to be more intentional about making friends and making connections was I got outside, literally, okay? I joined a run club here called Mad Mal's Run Club. I won't say I joined, but I started participating on Tuesdays where we run 2 miles, run/walk 2 miles. And it's just so much fun. It's so many people, such good energy, dancing, music, vibes, just a good time, all being healthy and fit together. Another thing that you can do is get involved with your local church. If you are a part of a church, or maybe you're not a part of a church, but sometimes, most times, you can participate in the different groups that a church may have and not be a member. So look into some local churches and see what groups may be available. I actually joined a skating group with the church that I used to attend here in Charlotte, and it has been so much fun. I've made great connections as a result, and it was like the highlight of my week. So definitely consider that. Other places that you can check if you're not interested in church would be Instagram. That's where I found out about the Run Club. Facebook is also a great place to check for events and different groups. And also there's a website called meetup.com. I used to use this back in the day before Instagram was the place for all of the events, but definitely check out meetup.com. The next tip that I want to mention is to go to places alone. Now I know that may sound daunting, especially for my introverts, but by going to places alone and talking to people, you'll be surprised how you can make intentional friendships. One of my good friends here, I would see all the time at different events. We would always be at the same events, and randomly one day we just decided to hang out together, and we ended up spending most of the day together. And now this is a friend that I see on pretty much a weekly basis. But had I not been willing to go to places alone and maybe, have a few awkward moments or a few awkward conversations, I would not have that friendship now. And I will be honest and say it's not the easiest thing to do, especially if you have social anxiety, or if you struggle with it at times. It can be a little daunting sometimes to go places by yourself and to spark up conversation with people. But I even have some tips for that we'll get into in the next part of this video. So another thing that you should consider when you are going to these different places is make sure it's safe, obviously. Make sure the place that you're going to is safe. Do your research. Also make sure that it's like a trusted sourced event, right? So using sites like Eventbrite or Meetup, or like I said, Instagram, where you can see the business and you can get a feel for what you may be walking into before you get there. It's always a good idea. And then you also want to think about where are the places where your potential friends would be, right? Like what type of things are you into? What type of things would those people be into? And is it possible that you can meet them out doing the same thing, right? So consider that as well. And another tip that I want to suggest is that you ground yourself to get rid of any anxiety you may feel in your body before you enter a space. So a really simple exercise that I like to do that I'm going to show you right now is closing your eyes, feet planted firmly on the floor, and closing your eyes if it's safe, right? So don't do this while you're driving or anything. But before you walk into a space, usually when I'm in the car, this is what I'll do. Place my hand on my belly, my left hand on my heart, and I'll just take a few deep breaths. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And I'll say out loud, I'm here in this body, I'm here in this moment. I have all that I need. I am present in this body, I am present in this moment, and I have all that I need. And repeat that a few times, and I assure you, you'll begin to feel grounded and calm, especially if you are taking intentional deep breaths. Another thing that I want to suggest, and this is once you get into the environment and you are making connections, one thing that you want to do is to ask questions so that you can naturally find a connection point, right? And this can be a little tricky because sometimes we can be so excited that maybe we're connecting with someone or we have something in common with someone that we want to share everything about ourselves. But really, the best way to make connections with people that I've found is to simply let them talk. Let them get really excited about the things that they're excited about. And if you have a common interest point, it'll naturally come up in the conversation when you share a little bit about yourself. But a great tip is to really ask questions to understand who they are and to see if there are ways that you can naturally connect without oversharing or dominating the conversation by talking about yourself. Another tip that I would suggest is when you are interacting with the person to, you know how we always have this internal dialogue going on anyway? Actually ask yourself, how do I feel when I'm interacting with this person? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel creative? Do you feel drained? These are all indications that if this may be the right relationship for you to continue developing. And if it is, one thing that you want to do, a takeaway after, is make sure you connect with them via phone or via Instagram, social media, whatever you use, and then be intentional to invite them places. It doesn't serve us if we go out to these places, we make these great connections, and then we never talk to the person again. So if it's someone that you really vibed with, you really connected with, make it a point to follow up and connect with them, invite them places, and hopefully they will do the same. I hope that this video helps. I hope that it's not too dark in here because it is about to pour down and I don't know where the lighting went. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs up, leave a comment below, share your tips, and also check out my podcast where I go in depth about my experience with making friends as an adult. All right, I'll see you later.